the figure of yeast, choose yeast as a symbol work in the world. Because yeast or leaven is seen as a symbol of evil. It's like yeast, a symbol of evil. Well, it's a substance that's in a state of fermentation, and fermentation implies disintegration and corruption as unclean and contaminating, as representative of corruption.
Did you bring a surprise?
Yeah, I brought you some presents. Ooh.
These are beautiful.
What organisms are we?
Yeah, what are we looking at? Good old Austrian yeast.
And
What type of...
The sugar, peptone, then it's agar, distilled water, active coal, and yeast extract, like Marmite.
Ah, good.
But you kept it warm all the way from Austria.
I'm sure that was no problem.
Yeah.
You mean you flew with that?
Yes. It's just old yeast.
I know, but in Canada, it would be
Looks so
strip search.
suspicious.
How are you preserving yours? I've been drying mine out and pouring resin into them.
We poured like epoxy hard.
Yeah.
We tried that and it worked with that.
Did you dehydrate it first, or you leave it?
Not this one, because it was, they went yesterday, so.
Yeah. But maybe the Amsterdam yeast can hang out with the Austria yeast.
Yeah.
We could have a United Nations of yeast party, very nice. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to cultivate yeast. Today we're going to focus on potato dextrose, which is a media that has a high potato content in it that really is happy and enhances yeast growth versus bacterial growth on the agar. And the best way to choose what type of microorganism you want to cultivate is to choose what type of media you're going to swab, because the media will sort of enhance some organisms and retard other organisms in their growth. We're going to boil some water so that we can make some of the more traditional agar over there. Thank you. I feel like and on this end, we're going to start essentially creating a potato broth, okay? Then we need 200 grams of potatoes unpeeled and sliced.
Small slices,
Small slices, unpeeled.
Unpeeled?
Yes. You want to make sure that the environment that you're working in is clean. When you're working with sterile technique, essentially you want to make sure that you're not contaminating your plates with all the organisms that are already on the lab bench, your arms, in your breath, in your hair. So I have a bottle of 70% ethanol, but when I'm traveling and I can't get it from a lab-based store, I will buy vodka, a lot of vodka. And you want to get the highest grade of vodka that you can possibly get. There's always vodka. I don't want you reaching into the field with dirty hands. I don't want you putting your glass in the field. Honestly, I don't want you breathing in the field, okay? And if any of you are sick, which I know Lucas is, I want you to wear a mask when you're working in the field. And this mask is not to protect you, it's to protect the agar from you. So instead of like leaning right over, I sort of work like this. I also tend to breathe away from the field when I'm working in that environment. I forgot to ask for gloves, but I would still disinfect my hands before I reach into the field to ensure that I'm not carrying any organisms with me. In this bowl, we want to get the soup going because it's going to take about 30 minutes to cook. You guys turn that on. We're going to get that to boil.
Maximum?
We need 39 grams of potato dextrose agar in there. And then we need it again. So
How much was it? 36?
Stop at something like
39?
39 grams.
It's like cocaine.
It's a lot like that.
Well, I'm good at that.
It's cocaine for... Just dump it this time. Like cooking, you can have things close enough and you'll get results. Not measurable, repeatable results, but that's never been my interest.
I don't want to spill it all. It smells like
Soup?
I don't know, it smells a bit like sweets.
I just made bread today.
Don't spill.
So we'll make one with this or one with this?
And it's the same.
Okay, it's expensive and cheap versions.
Yes.
Okay.
But we're going to swirl it.
Okay.
And I have towels because it's going to be hot.
Thousand, eh?
Yes. Grow out. They're beautiful, but they can be dangerous. Open up one of these containers and we're going to lay them out. I have these pipette guns. These are guns that have a motor in them that can sort of pull up and release liquids without you touching them by hand. Historically, people used to pipette with their mouths. So you would stick one of these in your mouth and suck up and then liquid down, but don't do that. It's a terrible idea, okay? It was a very bad idea. What we're gonna do is one end opens up, the other end does not. You open up the end, you put it towards the sterile environment, and you hold onto the packaging. You do not touch the pipette itself, okay? Then, you put it into your gun and you can pull it out, and you have never touched it. You keep it inside of the sterile environment, and you never touch this tip to anything. If the tip touches anything, it is no longer sterile. You've contaminated it and it's garbage. So what you want to do is you take your pipette and you put it into the container, and you touch the top button. You pull up. You pull up, you never go past that orange line or you wreck the filter in my pipette gun and I'll be very upset with you. Then what you do, you push the bottom button and it will fill up with agar. And then you move it aside. The other thing is we need to work relatively quickly now because this potato dextrose, as it becomes closer to room temperature, is going to become congealed. Okay, thank you. If we need it, we'll make more.
One more here.
So if you want to fill these 4, you want to wash your guns. Anyone who's sick should wear one when it's there too. Okay, so you see how it's rolling on fire? Here, we'll move some of these ones. Never put that. Touching it all over, you have to throw that in the garbage. It's terrible. I'm sorry.
Wait, what went wrong? I have no idea what happened.
Pull.
What did I do?
Okay, you were like this. This can never touch anything. It has to go in and out with no touching. Okay? Here, I'll get you. Try a new one.
And it should be stopped by
No,
I know
did you go all the way in? Okay. In there. I think we should be okay.
So it doesn't automatically stop.
Oh.
I
You need to be okay. So now I'm going to get you to try one more time. Okay.
Yes, I'm not sure anymore what I'm doing.
So how's the soup doing?
It's a little slow, but it's working.
Medium was still hot.
The second pipette.
Pipette boy?
Anyone in there?
Yeah. This is the recipe that you get in like historical collections of all the different types of Jaegers that you might use, right? And this is still used in labs today.
Okay. Never used it. You just said that. Okay.
For sure. We're going to make this same media again using the potato broth that we've made. Okay?
Nou, het is ooit zo op lab staan, hè? Dan weten we dat we geld tekort hebben.
Is my agar melting too?
Yeah, it is kind of getting hot.
We want to get it melted.
Oh, my agar exploded on Monday in the microwave.
No, but I do want my agar to melt. But I don't know why you're doing that, because I really just want my agar to melt. Like, we're going to throw the potatoes in the garbage.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you wanted me to mash them.
No! I said just it was very enthusiastic. I was very impressed. Yeah.
Also, when you mentioned first, that's also
Because this is garbage. This is the good stuff. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this soup and we're going to strain it through cheesecloth. And the moisture that comes out the bottom is going to be what we're going to use for our media.
I don't want to move it too much.
That's not very much. What do you think that is? Do you think that's a liter? It's more.
Half liter.
Half liter? No. I think it's a liter. Yeah. It says that for 1 liter, we want to have 20 grams of agar and 20 grams of glucose. Do you know what that means? You're up! I want you to start with this stuff. This is the agar you get from the Chinese grocery store. I use it a lot, but some brands are better than others for growing bacteria. I want 20. Yeah. Oh, yes, we like color. That'd be good.
Orange one?
Yeah.
Does it say there's different colors?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is orange.
Okay.
It's orange.
Scientist. I can't remember his name now. And so it has marmalade and all sorts of weird stuff. Yes, this is totally right.
What's the range?
This is not part of the recipe, but just to be safe, I want to make sure that it congeals, but I also want to make sure, because sometimes the cooking grade agar has like an anti-microbial unit in it, so I always, when I'm doing a demo like this, just throw a little extra in, just to be safe.
We're using it for... Yeah.
Yes.
orange one.
I should have used this.
This one we're using the laboratory grade agar, just to see what the difference is, because sometimes I notice this doesn't work as well, and I'm wondering if they're putting something in
Deze
it.
pot kost denk ik wel €500 of zo.
Yes. 20 of the glucose and 20 of the agarose.
Okay.
This is an experiment now.
Okay, can you say this?
So this is an experiment. We're going to redo it again, but using the commercial grade agarose instead of the stuff from the Chinese grocery store. Just because I've noticed that this doesn't grow as well from time to time, and I think maybe they're putting some antifungal or antibacterial components in it. That's we have made the homemade potato dextrose, and we're about to boil it one last time so that we can decontaminate it and get it to the point where it'll make a gelatin, and then we're going to plate it. So now I need some of you to come over here and start next.
Make it more rich.
Yeah, it's rich.
You already did double, what? Oh yeah?
Another one. Hoeveel gooi je daar nog in? Zo'n
20 gram?
€80.
Nou, het is ongeveer €50 denk ik. Ja.
So this is the new one.
This is the new one.
So are we just dropping them in?
Just fill up as many as you can. The real issue is that if we throw this in the regular garbage, it could grow a big colony of something, and maybe someone will eat it and then they will get sick and die. A lot of the distinction is cultural, it's not a real one, is what I'm saying. Also,
they made this rice video where they kind of filmed with a hand with a mobile phone. You see guys the Mythbuster tested it. Yeah. So they made a test where they took like that much. Yeah. That's better.
I don't think they're ready to flip yet, but I do think they could go like that pretty okay.
Because yeast or leaven is seen as a symbol of evil. It's like yeast, a symbol of evil. Well, it's a substance that's in a state of fermentation, and fermentation implies disintegration and corruption as unclean and contaminating, as representative of corruption.